So what is co-design? I'm Mike Press from Open Change, and I'm going to give a brief overview of the subject. You'll find a lot more detail in the workbook and the online study guide. Co-design is a shorthand term for a diverse range of design practices. The UK Design Council has described it as a set of tools used by designers to engage non-designers by asking, listening, learning, communicating, and creating solutions collaboratively. They also describe it as a community-centered methodology that designers use to enable people who will be served by a designed outcome to participate in designing solutions to their problems. Also as a partnership between designer, client, and the wider community on a design project. But we can also view it as a shift of design power from the client via the designer to the end user. As this power shifts, so too does the role of those who do the design work. As such, we can see co-design as a political shift. Gerhard Fischer says this: humans, not all of them, not at all times, not in all contexts, want to be and act as designers in personally meaningful activities requiring convivial tools. Convivial tools is an important idea here and comes from the work of Ivan Illich. Published in 1973, Tools for Conviviality was a call for democratizing technology by developing new tools for applying practical knowledge by the average citizen. As he says, convivial tools allow users to invest the world with their meaning, to enrich the environment with the fruits of their vision, and to use them for the accomplishment of a purpose they have chosen. As Fischer says, convivial tools encourage users to be actively engaged in generating creative extensions to the artifacts given to them and have the potential to break down the strict counterproductive barriers between consumers and designers. In my view, part of the business of service design is to create convivial tools for an age where the relationship between consumers or users and designers is blurring and rapidly shifting. For much of the 20th century, consumers and designers were entirely separate, but we can now view them as different ends of a continuum. When I do my weekly grocery shop, I'm a passive consumer. Although if I'm seeking out fair trade groceries, I'm more of an active consumer. As an end user, I'm actively using a product or service. As a user, I'm interacting a bit more with it. Power users are those people who really understand the products and services they use, like a joiner understands the saws and drills they use professionally and push them to the limits. Sometimes they work closely with domain designers, like product designers, people who have specialist knowledge in one field of design. I tend to see service designers as meta designers, people who see how a system works, how different design and other specialisms come together to deliver it. Now that continuum maps on to 4 levels of creativity: doing, adapting, making, and creating. When we're doing, we're simply trying to get something done. When we're adapting, we're trying to make things our own. As makers, we make with our own hands, and when we're creating, we express our creativity. For example, in my case, I have no interest in cars at all. I see them purely as a means of getting something done, getting safely and efficiently from A to B. With my laptop, it's a bit different. I have an interest in adapting it for my workflow to ensure that it has the digital tools that I need to make this short film, for example. I relax by cooking, by making food, but I generally need a recipe to help me. When I'm writing, or indeed making short films like this, I'm expressing my creativity. With each of these 4 levels, the designer has a very different role. I am sorry, but I really don't want to co-design my car. I'd like some car designers to take a total lead on it and do it for me. The designers who create my Apple MacBook and the apps I use, I look to guide me so that I can adapt and apply things that I need. I look to Nigel Slater, Jack Monroe and other cookery writers to provide scaffolds in the kitchen. But when I'm being creative, I want to be offered a clean slate or the convivial tools to let me express my creativity. So increasingly, in the 21st century, design focuses on guiding and providing scaffolds. We see this in service design. And we see it in the arts, where people like Brian Eno is providing a scaffold within which you create your own music. So what we're seeing is a move away from the classical roles of how we use design to make change happen. This involved a researcher sitting down with a consumer or user, finding out their needs, informed by the relevant theories of research or marketing. From this, insights were made and a brief developed which guided the hand of the designer. The age of co-design is very different. All three get together, and indeed often the researcher and designer are the same people and certainly share common theoretical views of the world and the needs of users. And they make use of convivial tools to create products and services. This arrangement is far better because it draws on the specialist insights of both users and specialists. Users have unique insights about needs and context of use, while designers have unique knowledge of generic solutions and methods. When these two are harnessed effectively, the result is better informed, more robust, and effective design. In meeting the needs and aspirations of users, it is also inherently democratic. That is the key benefit of co-design.